Well, let's officially welcome him to the state of Minnesota. Ladies and gentlemen, new defensive tackle for the Minnesota Vikings here by way of Washington. Can we get a witness and a raucous round of applause for Mr. Jonathan Allen? Welcome.
Thank you, guys. I'm so excited to be here.
Good seeing you, man. Jonathan Allen has had some wonderful years in the NFL so far. He also played for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, there currently are 4 Alabama guys on the roster, and possibly a 5th could be added this evening. The more Roll Tide, the better, right?
Yeah, of course, especially the guys who played under Coach Saban and just who came up in that culture. So I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Jonathan, Ben Lieber down here. Good to see you. Good to meet you. I'm assuming that everything's good with you on the injury front. We can't wait to see you out there full speed 100% once OTAs and minicamp starts. I want to stick with the Alabama angle here. Some of these players, one player that we're going to be talking a lot about tonight, I know a lot of Vikings fans are looking at him, as Gray Zabel from North Dakota State. You played at a premier Division I FBS school. A lot of people, I don't really think it's an argument. The SEC is the best conference in football. When you look at the way that prepared you to be a rookie coming from a conference like that, you have some of these lower tier guys at North Dakota State's coming in being rookies. Like, how much did that prepare you when you got to the actual league, playing at a place like Alabama, going against that competition versus maybe some of these guys at lower levels?
Man, I think it was huge. I just think of the level of preparation that you have to go under at one of those bigger programs. You're battle tested. A lot of the guys you're going against in the league, you played against them in college. And especially nowadays, all these college guys, they're being trained on how to be pros with NIL and how to handle off-season or off-field distractions. They're really being trained in everything that they're going to have to do when they get to the next level. So when you play at these big programs, it really prepares you for, the physicality, first and foremost, and then the speed of the game also.
Pete Bursich?
Hey, John, Pete Bursich. How much do you know about Brian Flores and his scheme? Because it's going to be a little bit different than what you saw for the last few years, at least in Washington. What excites you about being here? Because I've always said he'll walk up enough guys where you don't get a lot of double teams up front. So you may be able to play freely this year, and I really think that the defensive tackle position is one that could be taken advantage of in this system.
Yeah, no, when I first signed here, everybody I talked to from opposing teams, all they said was how Coach Flores was just a madman and all the things that he did. And so it's exciting. He creates a lot of space on the inside. He brings a lot of pressure, so we're always attacking and being aggressive. So yeah, I'm very excited to be a part of that.
Jonathan Paulcharchian, nice to meet you. You got to the NFC Championship Game last year, and you got back from that injury in time to participate in the playoffs. Tell us a little bit about the crazy playoff run that you went on, and for really most of the rest of your time in Washington. Yeah, I don't think you guys ever topped even a 500 ball club, and here you were in the NFC Championship Game.
Yeah, it was insane. When I got hurt, I felt like we were just getting our mojo and starting to get our swagger as a defense. So that definitely was frustrating. But from the moment I got injured, the goal was to come back. It was all in God's hands, and He blessed me, with the ability to recover quickly in this instance. So, being able to come back and be a part of that run was super special. It was important for me to come back and prove that I was good to Washington and to everybody else that I was healthy and I could play football at a high level, after the injury. So it was, man, by the grace of God, I was able to come back and, play some good football.
This is the Miller Lite Vikings draft party, and Jonathan Allen, new defensive tackle for the Vikings, is our guest. A bevy of others coming up shortly. What do you remember about your head coach, Kevin OConnell, from the 3 years you spent with him in Washington?
Man, that staff that we had in Washington when Coach O'Connell was there was insane. He was definitely quiet. I was a rookie or a first, second-year guy coming in, so, man, my head was all over the place. My head was spinning. I was just trying to keep myself, on the straight and narrow. But, awesome guy on and off the field. I probably talked to him more than any of the other offensive staff when I was there. So I think that speaks a lot about his character. And the thing that really impressed me about him when I was looking at teams and free agency was the culture he built. I think that's a huge part in how a team is successful. And I think when you have that culture, it does great things. And I think you guys have seen it over the last couple of years. So I'm super excited and blessed to be able to say I'm a part of that culture now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to know a little bit about the free agent courtship that happened. It's a little bit like speed dating, for all of us on the outside looking in. your familiarity with him, I'm sure that played a part. Obviously, your agent here is based out of Minneapolis. You've probably been here several times and know this program pretty well. But what was the courtship like? When did you start hearing that the Vikings had interest and vice versa?
So when I found out I wasn't going to be returning to Washington, me and my agent, we sat down and we made a list. Scheme, how I was going to be used, need, city, how my family would enjoy living there. Because, that's an important part of it. And the Vikings were at the top of the list. So when I found out there was mutual interest, I was super excited. Because I always say, as long as two parties have a mutual interest and want to get to the same goal, you'll be able to work something out. So, it happened really quick. I think I was released on a Friday, and Monday I was in Minnesota, and then Tuesday I signed. So it was a quick turnaround. But honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way.
You have a place yet?
Yeah, actually, we just closed on it like 2 days ago.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good. So the final question would be, and perhaps the most important for now, has your agent, Blake Barrett, secured you courtside seats for Luka and LeBron tomorrow night?
He has not.
Oh, come on.
Come on, Blake.
Come on, Blake. What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Allen at the Miller Lite Vikings draft party. The Tennessee Titans have the first pick in the draft. They're coming up shortly. Vikings pick 24th. That should be about 9:30. And the Miller Lite Vikings draft party continues shortly on your home for Minnesota Vikings football, FM 100.3 KFAN.